Welcome to the Living Superfood Show. My name is Umoya, and I'm here with my co-host, the one and only Master Chef, Health and Food Scientist, Kidi Awadu. How you doing today, Kidi?
My brother, Umoya, we black and we shine. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful neighborhood, and hopefully those who are tuned in with you and I are going to be really excited and inspired by the information we're sharing today, as well as being well informed.
All right, so let's get it started. So today we're going to be talking about turmeric. So the first question I have for you is, what is turmeric, and how did it get its name, and where is the origin?
Okay, turmeric, some pronounce it turmeric. That's kind of the habit that I've fallen into, even though, as you and I were discussing, apparently it is the silent R in turmeric that is emphasized here. But when we look at the origin of the word actually, or origins, or the origination of the word is French, and I think it translates something as like a gift of the earth or extracted from the earth, which um, ter, terra merite, that's what it is. Terra meaning earth, merite meaning meritorious. And so when we look at the French pronunciation, terre it might have that R in it after all. In the British, we're just too lazy to pronounce it.
All right. So let's go to the second question then.
And
Is
then maybe I didn't quite clarify the origin of it. When
okay.
we look at where it comes from, it has a long, long use in Ayurvedic medicine, food as nutrition, as medicine, and that goes back many, many centuries, perhaps millennia, to India. So the true origins beyond the name is coming from India.
Got you too. Is there any validation that it comes from other parts of Asia as well, like China, or is India pretty much the origin from your understanding?
It because it grows in so many different environments, including South America, across Asia, and even Africa. We can grow it here in the United States. One might presume the variations of the species will be produced in a wide variety of environments. But when we look at its record of usage as a therapeutic nu- uh, nutritive, what some people call nutraceutical, then the Ayurveda is the oldest records of such usage.
All right. So is turmeric grown seasonally, and how should turmeric be grown?
Yeah. Well, turmeric grows like other root crops, which are best planted after the winter frost. It is not a perennial, except for, I guess, in environments where you can grow something that's going to last year after year after year. But like other root crops, if you leave them in the ground for too long, they get extremely woody as they go to seed and become almost inedible at that time. Well, I'm having fun with the English language today. Let me tell you. So I would imagine that turmeric is best grown from early in the planting season after all the winter frosts have finished, and that is best harvested before it goes into the next winter season, which is going to kill off all the above ground parts of the plant. And of course, root crops have to be harvested at that particular time.
Okay. So is the whole plant edible or just the root?
In actuality, the whole plant is edible. Some people grind the leaves up into a paste that is palatable and edible. Of course, it will have the chlorophyll in it as well at that particular point. So it is a whole plant, is a wonderful, healthy plant, and certain components of turmeric, such as the curcumin, have spectacular, well-known qualities for creating balance and health, powerful anti-inflammatories.
All right. So speaking of which I'm going into my next question. So what are the nutritional properties or benefits of turmeric?
Turmeric primarily is regarded as one of the most powerful nutraceuticals for fighting inflammation. An anti-inflammatory, antioxidant is the same way of saying these things, same way of coming to the same conclusion. Antioxidants are very critical components of the human immune system. So when we do get occasional exposure to some sort of pathogen that might enter our blood system and our immune system recognizes that, then it starts to create these elements to take that pathogen out. And if these elements, as these elements do their work and knock out the pathogens, once the pathogens are gone, we need a process of turning these anti-inflammatory elements off, these free radicals. Free radicals are a necessary component when it comes to fighting against pathogens. But if the free radicals are being produced too much, then we're causing autoimmune type of disaster or disorder. And so, therefore, these antioxidants are key for turning off this process of free radical formation, whereby an unstable atom is allowed to kind of spin off of certain molecules, and these unstable atoms then neutralize, or they're like little bullets shooting into the heart of these pathogens that our body wants to eliminate. So free radical process is very necessary when we're going through an acute illness. But when that acute illness is taken care of, we have to turn that process off, and that's where turmeric with its curcumin comes in very, very helpful. It's one of the four most powerful of the culinary herbs, which in my system living superfood we encourage people to consume every day. These include turmeric, cinnamon, cayenne, and ginger, the mighty four culinary herbs.
Yep, definitely. We actually did a previous episode program on cayenne, so we're getting two down. I guess we have what, cinnamon and then ginger to go, so we'll definitely hit those up in the future.
Absolutely.
All right. So, are there any side effects?
The main side effect of turmeric that I am aware of, it is very, very orange. The only known side effect of turmeric. If you're wearing white clothes and you're preparing food and turmeric happens to, maybe liquefy and splash on your white clothes, they're going to be white and orange clothes from then on. Turmeric is extremely powerful as a dye. Sometimes people use it specifically for that purpose as a brilliant yellow food coloring, such as if I'm making potato salad or something else. Like I have this one dish that I make, it's really a big favorite, called eggless egg salad. And in making the eggless egg salad, in which the protein base of it is raw soaked cashews, I want it to resemble egg salad where the yolk has been blended into the egg salad. And so I'll add sufficient turmeric into it to not only add the coloration, but it boosts up the anti-inflammatory potential of the dish as well. So the only known side effect from turmeric that I am aware of is that it's really, really yellow.
All right.
And you
So,
can use it if you want to make a yellow cake or something like that. You put it in there as well. It doesn't have a real deep flavor profile, not like curry, which contains turmeric, and the curcumin is common to both of them. It doesn't really have a strong flavor profile. It's rather mild, so it's pretty easy to use on a broad basis.
okay. It's been suggested that turmeric should be consumed with pepper. Why is this, and is there a particular type of pepper that you suggest?
That's really good. From my understanding, and you're getting me to reach deep into my memory. I got a lot of this stuff stored in little corners inside the brain. But yes, I think it is true that the consumption of turmeric, as well as a few other types of nutraceuticals, is actually enhanced by the consumption. And if I'm remembering right, it's white pepper that actually uh, kind of enhances and turns the turmeric on for its full potential. Why would that be? I would imagine because pepper, what pepper does, because pepper contains capsaicin. We talked about that with cayenne pepper, and this capsaicin is a powerful anti-inflammatory. What it does is it opens up the channels because it itself so inflammatory itself. Our body responding to the heat of the pepper it opens up channels by which it starts expressing mucus at a higher rate to get rid of the pepper sting. Well, in the expression of the mucus, we're able to push toxins out of our body as long as we don't swallow the mucus and have to redo the whole process a second time. So, based upon what the pepper does, and the capsaicin in the pepper is, of course, much milder in white pepper or black pepper than it is in cayenne pepper, ghost peppers, and some of these other very hot brands. I'm just presuming that what the pepper does is it opens up channels, circulatory channels, increases the circulatory system, thereby allowing the turmeric or what other complementary agent to circulate much faster and much deeper throughout the body's systems.
Okay, so outside of consumption, are there any other forms that the turmeric can be used for? I know you mentioned dyes, but I don't know if you can elaborate on that or not.
Well, in as a food chef, as a chef, a professional artist, culinary artist, a chef, I do like to have colors in certain foods become very bright. The color palette on a plate is something that is extremely attractive to the human eye, which is connected to centers of the brain that recognize that these bright colors, red means an indicator that there's a significant amount of iron present. Green means there's the presence of magnesium in the form of chlorophyll. Yellow is the presence of antioxidants such as the curcumin, but yellow also indicates lutein, or is it lutein? Yeah, lutein, which is a powerful antioxidant that's found in yellow colored fruits and vegetables. So when we have the presence of these bold colors on our plate, not only are we getting a broader spectrum of critically needed minerals, but it's also very attractive to the eye. And as an artist, you do want your food to have strong visual appeal to your audience. Sometimes they fall in love with your food and they haven't even tasted a bite yet. Beyond that, I have heard of people using turmeric for different types of pastes and rubs. Say they have maybe a stomach, or not a stomach, but a lung infection, that they would make a paste out of mustard and turmeric, something to cause the expression, as these vapors, of course, are drawn into the skin. The skin is an absorbent organ by which good beneficials, as well as the bad stuff, can get into our bloodstream, as well as inhaling something that's a paste that's put on the chest would be really, really good for these type of healing processes. So turmeric does has some variety to it, as my Jamaican friend would say. And it's therefore for us to explore. I would love to be a part of a process of laboratories exploring the full benefits of turmeric and many, many other nutraceuticals.
All right, so I'm going to read a statement from our wonderful and most trusted resource on the planet called Wikipedia.
Excuse me, I was eating peanuts a little bit earlier. Whenever I say
uh,
the word Wikipedia, a peanut happens to just get stuck in my lungs.
all right, so let me read this quote here. So per Wikipedia, although long used in Ayurvedic medicine, where it is also known as Haridra, please forgive me if I mispronounce that, there is no high quality clinical evidence for using turmeric or its constituent curcumin to treat any disease, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So, what are your thoughts on that, Keith?
It sounded like the most absurd statement ever written until you added the tag according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Then it made perfect sense of why Wikipedia would not want any competition with the AMA, FDA drugging process. But the reality is that we can find a lot of really, really great, profound, and verifiable research outside of the aegis of the United States Department of U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In fact, the best research is found outside of their purview. So, as I'm looking for just a quick search scholarly articles peer reviewed on turmeric, I find a number of articles, three of which are cited right at the top of the search, one of which is from Chattopadhyay, who is an Indian based scientific researcher. The article cited turmeric and curcumin, biological actions, and medicinal applications. And again, written by a collection of Indian based researchers. And this particular article has been cited by 1,273 different other peer review articles. And so, if 1,273 others will cite this article as critical to their investigation of the benefits of turmeric and curcumin, I would take that body of 1,273 scientists over Wikipedia and the FDA any day of the week. In fact, Wikipedia, when it comes to matters of the health, Wikipedia has kind of taken a generalized stance against anything but that taught by the Rockefeller sponsored American Medical Association. And the FDA, as of course, the federal regulatory agency, just moves in lockstep with them. Earlier before the show, you and I were talking about medical research from Johns Hopkins University, one of the finest medical research facilities in the world, except for when the politics of the United States wants to tell a particular story, they have to fall in lockstep with it as well. But when Johns Hopkins in May 2016 exposed medical errors in hospitalized situations as the third leading cause of death in America and sent that research to U.S. federal regulatory agencies, health regulatory agencies, to inform the public, the CDC, the Department of Health and Human Services, the FDA, none of them informed the public that after cancer, after heart disease, and then cancer, the death by doctor in hospitals was the third leading cause of death in America. I think that is a mission that castigates the entire system.
Wow, brother. So I know we also spoke about some of your upcoming projects or your recent project that you finished. Do you mind telling the people a little bit about your project?
I'm having a great time right now. I'm rewriting and re-updating some of my books from my extensive catalog, especially a series of books I wrote between 1996 and 1999 called the Conscious Roster Reports, a total of 18 of them in that series. And also, I have had two new books come out this year, actually in the same month. The first book, The Blackest Soil, Africa Can Feed the World. And then 30 days later, on the last minute of the last day of the month of May, the book Panic, what the coronavirus pandemic tells us about the state of the world. And then while doing some research to update a previous book I'd written on prisons, I was searching for some evidence that I was being solicited by the Department of Justice for research grants, large research grants based upon my publication of the book Prisons. And when I was searching for that literature, I found a spiral bound copy of 29 essays that I wrote in 1990 and 1991, previously unpublished. And so I've been working for the last week or so putting that collective today. And just proud to announce that just today I sent it off to the printer and was able to get the Kindle book and the ebook published. So now we have a total of 37 books in the archives while I'm doing intensive research, collecting the data, writing the outlines for another shocking book coming up in August. And that book is unfortunately really bad news for African American people and other diaspora populations who haven't been paying attention to their group viability over the next 45 years. So we got some good material on the table. After that is all done, I've got another record album. Yes, I'm going back into the music business for self satisfaction and to get some stuff cleared out for my soul. And then I'll have a series of health books coming out beginning later this year through the summer of next year. Probably three different health books coming out at that same time. Why so much writing? Because I can.
There you go. So where can people reach you?
I want them to see the books. I want them to look up close and personal. And the books, most of which you can find them at Keidi.biz, Keidi.biz. But for the health books, and this series here has really been focusing in on how we take charge, absolute control of our health status. I want them to go to livingsuperfood.com. The same title, the same website as the title of this series on YouTube, livingsuperfood.com, where we say food is nature's most perfect medicine, and medicine ain't never tasted like this before.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we log out here?
I just really want to encourage people. This is a time of remarkable and very rapid change happening in the world. Unfortunately, the mechanisms of the repression of our expression of our highest nature are working overtime. And they're very lavishly funded. They're very powerful agencies, and they have been studying mind control, behavioral modification for many, many years, decades. And so they know what they're doing and they know what works against the masses of us. We're going to have to break away from that system. So, people, turn on your literary processes, read as much as you can. That helps us to be able to analyze things better in real time. And also, when you find good sources of information, like the series that Brother Umoya and I are doing, you need to not only absorb it for yourself, put your own oxygen mask on, but assist those around you who need their help. Turn a lot more people onto it. Become a subscriber, hit the like button when you encounter these, and we're going to turn things around, not for everybody, but for those who really do want to build upon sustainability and to thrive and have our children and grandchildren and their grandchildren thriving. We have to take personal self responsibility for that as soon as possible.
Well, thank you, Keity. As always, I appreciate your time. We appreciate you. And on that note, this is the Living Superfood Show. Until next time, take care.